Aparna ma'am, next guest is there?
Please to continue. She's here.
Yeah. Okay. So again, I'm very glad to welcome one of our master from Kenya, and she is none other than Master Alice Nduruka from Kenya. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to this Patriji meditation channel and welcome to the summit. And I would like to introduce ma'am in a few lines. Ma'am is a ICAP certified addictions counselor and mental health advocate and mind shifting coach with over 7 years of experience. She is passionate about assisting individuals seeking recovery from addictions, being a recovery addict herself. She is the co founder of Olixir Pro Consult, a company that provides awareness, counseling, and other addiction recovery related services to those impacted by addiction. So, welcome, ma'am, and over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate the welcome and the invite. Namaste, Masters. It's good to be here. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you to, Divine Light, Source, Higher Power, God, however you choose to refer to that part of you that is inside. I'm really, really grateful to Padma and Apana and the entire team at Patriji Meditation Channel for putting forward this movement and this event and working tirelessly towards making sure that it happens. As you've all heard, my name is Alice Nduruka. I am master from meditation master from Kenya sides. In context, East Africa. And it's a privilege for me to be able to be part of this session with you all, and I feel very, very grateful for the opportunity to do that. So the topic spirituality and women, in my understanding, especially with my past experiences, I tend to believe that that spirituality is an inward journey. It's something that all of us are on a path towards reaching or towards finding in one way or another. So just to give you a bit of background about myself, my profession, as you've heard, is substance abuse or addiction counselor. And how I got into this field is through my own personal journey and my own personal experiences. And I'm very grateful today for that journey and for those experiences because they really have brought me to a place where I feel connected with the higher power and I resonate deeply with divinity and I understand, who I am as a person and what my purpose is. And that is something I would not have been able to achieve or get had I not been through this journey. So just a brief background, I grew up in another eastern part of Africa, a place called Tanzania in Arusha. There were some issues while growing up that made it such that I felt very disconnected from self, disconnected from the people around me. And in that disconnection, obviously, there were challenges around, recognizing, my role, first of all, as a being, as a woman, as or a child of God, and it wasn't, and as a result of that, I unfortunately got into substance abuse use. Initially, as we know, this is a taboo topic. It's still very much, a big problem, but especially with women, not one that is talked about often, and one that has a lot of shame and a lot of guilt associated with it. Um, and for me nowadays, I recognize that, spirituality really is about a daily practice of a surrender, of truth and grace. And that's part of the reason why I want to share this experience, because, it's a big part of who I am, and it's a big part of the great plan in this world. And I tend to believe that we're all connected in one way or another. So specifically, I do help women. I'm a recovery coach. So I help women who are struggling with these issues, because, we the role of a woman in society is very, very, very much to be, the child bearer, the family caretaker, in the shadows, really oppressed. I understand that there's been a lot of work and a lot of progress that's gone into creating equality, but I still feel that we are still very, very far from where we could be. I had the opportunity to listen to a couple of the previous speakers, and I echo their sentiments around, some of the issues that we have in our society today. Really, a lot of them would be resolved if the role of a woman was appreciated as one of great power, one of great strength, one of great beauty, one of great compassion, kindness, genuineness, um, fairness, just because I tend to feel that the masculine energy can be very oppressive and very demeaning, and such was the case in my experience, growing up. And my journey of substance abuse took me to really, really deep depression. So I also help women who struggle with depression or any other traumatic incidences. And as I was walking this journey, a lot of the times I would ask God, like what was it that I wasn't understanding, because my path wasn't as straightforward and as easy, in my opinion, at that time. It was always, consistent. I think we're familiar with addiction. It's a relapsing disease. So I had to go through a lot of relapsing episodes. But the more I went through those episodes, the greater my desire to surrender to my spirituality, or to the spirit, great spirit. And the more I started to feel a sense of connection with my, which is paradoxical, obviously, because we tend to think that, you know, when we tend to believe that when you surrender, you're not winning. Yeah? You're not. You should fight. You should be. You should show up. You should tell people things. But there's such beauty and power in surrender, and a lot of grace, and that's what I've come to realize in this um, in this process. In terms of, my support to women, and I see women as beautiful. I've just mentioned a few things. Very strong, the ability to hold fort. we have there's a saying that if you educate, or if you educate the woman, you are actually impacting the greater community around her. And it's unfortunate that we live in a society that doesn't appreciate the full extent of what that means. It's sad to hear that in some cultures, child, female child, is considered not worthy, which are notions I completely disagree with, because I don't believe any human being, as children of God, are unworthy. We all have purpose. We all have path to follow. We all have a right and are entitled to the love that our Creator gives us, and the love from other people as well, the connections that we get from them. So in my work with women, as mentioned, I provide counseling services, but I also provide coaching or training retreats for women, specifically tailored for women, because our struggles are slightly different from those of men. And I do this by offering a mirror, and I offer a mirror by sharing my own personal experiences and saying, you know what, it's also possible for you. And this is how we can do this. And we lay out, you know, an itinerary of activities. At the forefront of that, of course, is meditation, mindfulness practices that are key, and research and science has shown that are very, very effective in helping a person who is struggling with a sense of disconnection, who is the addict, to feel a bit more centered and to feel a bit more connected. I also provide guidance insofar as, you know, women who are struggling with a sense of identity. I like what the previous sharer was talking about in context to the fact that we are busy taking care of everybody else but ourselves. We are the last person that we think of. And for some women, that is a constant, continual reality, such that to the point that if they do something to them for themselves, they actually feel guilty. And you know, that's something that I try as much as possible to help them realize that no, to be able to effectively actually take care of anyone, you have to also be able to. So you are the most important person in your life. Yeah. When you're well, when you're healthy, when you're taken care of, it's a greater benefit because you can show up a lot better for the people that you care about in your life. I also, you know, as women, obviously, we are nurturers. Um, and in my capacity in the work that I do, I find that that's a role that I enjoy. I enjoy engaging in, and I enjoy, you know, helping some of the women reconnect with that part of themselves, because as you're aware, obviously, that substance abuse takes away from your ability to just your mind isn't there to be there for other people. You're not able to nurture. I've heard very difficult, you know, stories about women who, for one reason or the other, have had to you know, not take care of their kids. And other very, you know, very, very sad stories about that, um, about how far the disease of addiction can kind of take them to, or the places that it can take them to, and how they can, you know, they can kind of fall back from who they are, which is an empowered, powerful, beautiful, um, yeah, being. You know? In a family, we know that women bring a sense of calmness, serenity. We do a lot of work, and I just want to be able to recognize that. I was reading an article the other day about how in Kenya, we're trying to pass a policy that takes care of caretakers in the home or in the family, which we know that that usually is the responsibility of the women, and all the work that they do with cooking, cleaning, making sure everything is taken care of in the household. And we're trying to get to a place whereby we first of all recognize that as an important role. Yeah, it's because while we're doing that, you know, the man is able to go out there and excel in his career, etc. Whereas the woman has to do that on top of, you know, cooking, and the rest of other responsibilities that have to do with the home. And so the first thing is to appreciate that as something that is true for us. And the second thing is to, where appropriate, obviously see if it's possible to compensate that work, that unpaid work. So hopefully Parliament is going to be able to do something about that. At least we're thinking, I feel like we're thinking in the right direction. And it's encouraging to hear that these experiences and stories are people are becoming more vocal about them. And even in some cases, men are actually supporting this, supporting the movement of recognizing the role of a woman and how important it is. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to be done, but nonetheless, it's progress. And in her community, like I was saying earlier, if you educate a woman, if you take her to school, you literally are able to help so many people around her, because genuinely, we are more compassionate. We tend to be, we want to make sure everyone is okay, take care of people, and we don't feel good if we see suffering around us, for most of us. And then we are also encouragers. We encourage our kids, we encourage our friends, we encourage our partners in relationships, we take care of our parents, and we generally keep the spirit of life within us. So it's really unfortunate that this isn't something that is automatically recognized as something of value, the role of a woman and the role that the woman of the people around her, and the impact that she made. I'm grateful that I get an opportunity to feed these seeds of, or rather to plant these seeds of recognition or of wisdom in the people, with the people that I work with, by also getting them to see a different perspective, and opening their eyes up to the possibilities of change, and who they are as people, and how they do not have to be defined by their pasts, but rather they can use their pasts also as a stepping stone in encouraging others to open up about their situations and their challenges. Because like I said, for the woman to be a substance abuse user, whether it's an alcoholic or anything else, can be very, very stigmatized. It's very much here. You will find that the problem perpetuates because of the shame associated with it, and it's something that we are becoming more vocal about. Fortunately, thankfully, because of social media, um, and the right kind of activists, because sometimes we have activists who are fanatical, and we don't want to destroy the family system. We want to recognize women as the precious persons and beings that they are. So insofar as my journey and my path, and how I use my journey and my experiences and the things that I've done that have worked, because I have been able to be from substances for many years, for many, many years. And so my experiences are based in my teachings actually are based in my experiences of what has worked for me. And a big part of it is definitely spirituality, and how that grounds me, how meditation calms me, calming my mind, connects me to source, divine light, higher power, connects me to my feminine energy as well. And just even just the general principles of, love, kindness, compassion. Yeah, things that perhaps for some people, for addicts, they may have forgotten or stepped out of tune with, helping them reconnect with that, which gives me great, great purpose. It really gives me great purpose. And it makes me happy to see them flourish as they should, in this particular, in their lives, yeah, in their lives. And there is no greater joy than being able to help another person connect with their understanding of God. Who that connection is invaluable. And it brings hope and it brings life. And it feeds the soul and it empowers, and the more you have of it, the greater, rather the more empowered and powerful, and the more firmly you're able to stand in that grace, in that service, in that surrender, in that truth, and recognition. And obviously, as we're aware, my aura will, if I'm able to change, and if people are able to pick up on that, then the consciousness of all of us, and being able to raise the consciousness of everyone around is is really what, in my opinion, what this is all about. Just making people more conscious and aware of who we are as beings and where we're from as a spirit and a soul, and what and how that fits into it. So I'm really grateful I've had this opportunity to speak to you all, and I appreciate all the work that goes behind putting an event like this forward, and a movement like this. It's really very, very. With that, I would like to say thank you, and to wish you all a wonderful rest of the event, and to thank all the speakers who have spoken. Yeah, and just to say, say thank you. Thank you for letting me be of service in this. Thank
Thank you so much, Alice ma'am. Though your journey was also very tough, but the work you are doing for the women's, and especially in this field, this is really commendable. And we are glad that you accepted our invitation and you are on this platform. So from our team members, I'm very grateful to you. Thank you once again. And over to you, Padma ma'am. Do you want to say something to ma'am?
Thank you so much, Alice. I'll talk to you in my own language, only Telugu. I can't talk much in English. చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉంది ఈరోజు ఇంతమంది మాస్టర్స్ని ఇలా ఎదురుగుండా కలిసి వాళ్ళతో వాళ్ళ దీపెన్ ఎక్కడెక్కడి నుండి వాళ్ళు రిలీజ్ అయి బయటకు వచ్చారో అందరినీ అలానే బయటకు తీసుకురావాలని చెప్పేసి చెప్తున్నారు. ఇవన్నీ వింటున్నప్పుడు చాలా హ్యాపీగా అనిపిస్తుంది. సుధా మేడం చెప్పారు, ఎందుకు నేను తీసుకున్నాను, పత్రిజీ నన్ను బయటికి తీసుకురావడం కోసం, నాకు నేను నిలబడటం కోసం ఎంతో కృషి చేశారు. దాని గురించి నేను రావాలనుకున్నాను అని చెప్పేసి ఆమె చెప్తున్నారు. ఇదే నాకు చాలా హ్యాపీగా అనిపిస్తుంది అనమాట. ఒక్కొక్క ఉమెన్ వెనక, ఒక్కొక్క స్త్రీ వెనక ఎంత కృషి ఉంది తను బయటికి రావడం కోసం. తనంత తాను పత్రిజీ ఎప్పుడు ఇదే చెప్పేవాళ్ళు. ప్రతి స్త్రీ తన నుండి తాను బయటికి రావాలి. ప్రతి పురుషుడు దానికి సహకరించాలి అని చెప్పేవాళ్ళెప్పుడు కూడా. ఈరోజు అలా వచ్చినటువంటి ఈ వుమెన్స్ అందరిని చూస్తున్నప్పుడు, వాళ్ళందరినీ కలవగలుగుతున్నప్పుడు, వాళ్ళ డీపెన్ స్టోరీస్ తెలుసుకుంటున్నప్పుడు ఆహ్, ఎంత హ్యాపీగా ఉందంటే దిస్ ఈస్ ద లైఫ్. దిస్ ద హౌ టు లీడ్ అవర్ లైఫ్స్ సక్సెస్‌ఫుల్లీ అని అనిపిస్తుంది మేడం నాకు. థాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ మ్యామ్ వన్స్ అగైన్. థాంక్ యూ.